I'm so pleased to be here and happy for being invited. Our work, mine and my colleague, Raluca Matei, is about how religion, faith, actually with the process, therapeutical process of recovery from addiction works together. I can say that the idea was, we started with this. I started with this because 10 years ago, I think, one of my students told me that one professor told them that the priest is the enemy of the psychologist. Mm-hmm. So then I thought I cannot argue with this because maybe I don't have enough data, or maybe students are not open to this. So look, I waited. And thanks to the topic of this conference, I said I should appeal some things. And I want to generate a message that I hope students will send it to me at the end. Maybe you will guess the message that I wish to say at the end. Some perspective on addiction and the process of recovery. It's about faith that remains a constant element, along with honesty and hope for the individuals struggling with addiction and for their families and community. Among the addicted people, I found the most honest, the most open people that actually related their experiences, and it was a shock for me at first. Because I volunteered in an addiction center for 2 years before the pandemic, and there is where I was confronted to this phenomenon. So I reviewed the literature, and I found that medicine last year, 2 years ago, said that faith is a source of strength and hope. It's a support system, it's a pathway to inner peace and the power to forgive and redeems one's mistakes, harmonization of mind, body, and spirit, development of resilience, and a pillar of sustainable recovery from addiction. We will see why. This is a simple and profound prayer that is present in every session of Alcoholics Anonymous. That asks God to grant the serenity to accept things we cannot change, courage to change things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. We know that all over the world, every session from AA starts with this. Principles promoted by AA emphasize spiritual growth because the founders of AA were profoundly religious, and they found that alcoholics were hostile toward God. So they tried to find a way to introduce this faith path, but without upsetting the alcoholics. So they said God, as each individual understands him, or the transcendent power greater than oneself, a superior power, actually. So we went further, and we found that science also confirmed this thesis. Like Degenhardt and all, Moscati and Menzu, Palomar and all, they said that large majority of cases show that religious beliefs and practices lead to lower levels of substance abuse. Or clients found that up to 82% of clients who experienced spiritual awakening were completely abstinent 1 year follow-up compared to 55% of non-spiritual clients. Also, Koenig reviewed the studies that examined the relationship between faith and drug use, and they found 185 studies identified 84% found that faith reduced the risk of drug abuse. Only 2 of the studies found that faith contributed to drug abuse. So I think it's relevant. Other studies, because I want to be persuasive, exceptionally for the students that only believe science until one point. So also, faith protects both women and men against substance abuse. Achapong and all show that women and men who use prescription opioids and are actively religious are less likely to engage in polysubstance use, and also Koenig and Bryant found that frequent religious attendance at midlife was protective against alcoholism by the age of 70. So I should emphasize this, the sustainability of the method. Not only Christian groups are introducing the principles of faith in their treatment. So as we can see, Jewish Addiction Treatment Center for 140% introduces the 12 steps program, because this is what are we talking about, and incorporates Jewish spirituality. Also, Islamic World Services introduced the principles of Islamism in the treatment. Native Americans and also Buddhist participants introduced their own reflection in the 12 steps. So every cult, every religion introduced the principles in the treatment. So here is the center of the story that we tried to find the correspondent in religion for every of the 8 from those 12 steps that we are talking about. So I will not read the first one, but the right column. So when the addicted person says we are needed, we are powerless, we understand the need to move from illusion of control to surrender the control to God or higher power, as everyone understands Him. We came to believe that a power greater than us restores us. So admitting that letting God in help us to end the obsession to fall into addiction. Third one, we made a decision to turn our will and lives over to the God care, and also we can say that God does not force us, support our free will, and give us the free will. And also we made a searching and fearless moral inventory. All Christians, is not only, we know about the confession secret, and we made such a moral inventory before going to the confessor and trying to clean our sins. The other 4 steps that I'm referring at, we can see in the title, we can relax, God is in charge, according to Jason Whaler. Because the addicted persons always think that they can do it by themselves, by their own will, and we know that it's impossible. So we must surrender the control over our lives. Of course, prayers, meditation improve the conscious contact with God, and on the right side, last one, we say we begin to look at life different through the lens of faith. So we start to see opportunities that were never there, and we start to see other bright and shine parts of the light that we didn't see. One more principle in religious and the faith, and we can transfer to the anonymous alcoholic. For example, carry each other's burden. Each addicted person affect the lives of families and communities. So other 4 or 5 people are involved in the recovery. Family which suffers a lot, and also the family can have a behavior distorted by concern and love for the affected person. Usually family pays the bills, the damages, and without their will they sustain the process of addiction. That's why the group of support intervene, and they can have the role of a healthy family in the recovery. The group of support, we know that is gathering people with similar needs. And almost in the final part, we can see the role of the supervisor or a mentor in addiction recovery, which is a person selected through the group of support, which coaches and guides the person through challenges in order to maintain the sobriety journey. He can be an advisor, a good listener, a friend, and helpful and discreet confidant, with the condition of being affectionately stable and advanced on the path of abstinence. Conclusion. An important step, as most of us know, that is to get out of denial. By the way, some organization open a line, red line for denial, a call center, and no one calls until now. So no one realized it's in denial. But in this case, the recovery we see is sustainable, are surrendering control to God. Relapses are inevitable, but they can be overcome by close connection with supervisor and the support group. Also humility, which is another concept of religion, and especially in Orthodox religion, is the condition for the addicted person to accept their own choices and to forgive themselves and others. And finally, the mission of recovered people is to carry the message further for other addicts. This, I think, it's great. This is a case that I evaluated in the time I volunteered, like I said. You see, it's 4 months between the two evaluations. First is on October 2018, and the last one is on January 2019. And we can see with the young cognitive schemas that we see in the column on the right, that the perceived emotional deprivation went from high to low, that the balance scale raised a little bit because the family was not approving the process. The lack of trust became from very high to medium. The perceived isolation became low from high. Protectionism went from very high to high, and emotional inhibition from very high to low. So the subject, in 4 months of therapy, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, he arrived at these results. We have some references that we use in the presentations, and a big thank you